How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Ready? Salute. I don't even think he in here. I mean, okay, we got two people in here. Salute to y'all, man. There we go. That's better. Salute. Caveman should be joining real soon. Sent him the link. So we should be in here. What's the word today? What y'all ready? What you want, man? Trying to work on this intro video, but I gotta make it an MP4. I gotta figure out how to do that. So I don't know. I have to manage that after this video. It look good though. I can't wait to use it. Need a little water or something. Dickie Foster, salute, man. How you doing? I'm just waiting on Mr. Jeremy. It's actually my uncle name. Cotton Eye Joe, what's the word? How you doing, brother? We just waiting on Caveman to get in here, and then we gonna get a cracking. Caveman, there he is. How you doing, boss?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm all right, man. tired of working, ain't you know?
Oh man, yeah, I didn't want to mention.
You cut out for a
Yeah, I've
second.
been out cutting wood.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a workout. Yeah, that's a workout.
Yeah,
Give me a
yeah,
few
yeah.
seconds
I
to post.
noticed there's a delay
Yeah,
because
we'll
I'm
work through
on
it
my
though. Ain't no
phone.
issue. Yeah, we'll work through that. I'm about to post this link right quick and then we can get into it. If I can find it. I got it. All right, we all
Team's all
set.
fired up, huh?
Yeah. We got everybody. I think just about everybody in here. Usually people fall in and fall out. But okay. So,
I just
first
meant our
off,
team in general.
yeah. They usually fall in. Like Nail Mac comes in a little bit later, sometimes. So go start off with people that don't know you. Introduce yourself.
Well, hopefully that don't keep happening. Cut out.
Uh-oh.
You hear me good still?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Let's make sure. I'm in the garage. I come out here to get away from the dogs,
Yeah.
have some peace and quiet, and I was worried about signal. I went ahead and used my data, made a call before we come on.
Right.
I'm sure it was working.
Joe said, "Hey, Caveman, get your ish together."
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah. They
yeah,
call
that's
me a
what he just
caveman
said.
for a reason. Yeah, yeah. I'm low tech.
Yeah, I respect it though. This phone can sometimes be a problem, or just the internet in a whole.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you set and ready, just introduce yourself and people that may not know who you are. I think just about everybody in here knows who you are, but for the people that might not know, introduce yourself.
Well, my real name's Jeremy. I live in Central Michigan. My passions are cannabis and dogs and the outdoors. That's what I'm all about. Pretty much what I do. off the
Okay.
grid. Besides, I
So
mean, my property's in my name, but other than that, I'm
yeah. Okay. So can you kind of explain off the grid for just to give us an insight?
the grid usually refers to the power grid, to the infrastructure that most people depend on.
Right.
It really refers to electricity, but it's a general principle, about having a gas line running in your house, having anything where you depend on someone else,
Right.
or some people use it to be untrackable. Like I have,
Yeah.
besides my property being my name, I basically have no paper trail.
Yeah.
I have no vehicle
Okay.
registered in my name. I pay no utilities.
And how difficult can that be at times?
Oh, very, especially when you're the Lone Ranger.
Right.
Yeah, a smart person would have give up a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of us were cursed with gameness.
Yeah. All right. So let me pull my questions up. So kind of talk about your first love that you found for animals, and then your first encounter with plants such as cannabis and crops.
The animals, I grew up in the country on a small, like self-sustaining farm.
Yeah.
I was around the cattle, the chickens, the geese. My grandparents run hounds, beagles, and Walker coon hounds. So I was
Okay.
around those. And my thing was when I was too small to do all that, I raised rabbits. So
Mm. Oh,
I
okay.
was breeding rabbits when I was about 7.
Wow. All right.
Running beagles. Yeah, from the time I was about 5, hunting with a BB gun I couldn't even cock.
Wow. Okay. Well,
uh,
that's interesting.
yeah,
I kind of had a hand in animals when I
20.
was, I think, around that age as well. I I showed pigs at the like the county fair,
Nice.
and sheep. That's hard work though.
Yeah. Do you
You're
have
not
a
even just
particular
raising them.
breed you was working with? Or just
Um.
whatever was available at that time.
Well, my uncle, he's been doing this for a while, and he still shows pigs. So he kind of was giving me pigs that he was breeding or he was buying, and then I would raise them and then show them.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that around here. A lot of
Yeah,
4-H.
yeah. 4-H is
Yeah.
big in Michigan for sure.
Yep.
But yeah. So then give us your insight on you and cannabis and crops and when you first got into it.
When I first got into cannabis, I was 12.
Oh wow.
And I moved away from my local area into a more populated city, college town, which happened to be an Indian reservation.
Mm,
And yeah, one of my best friend was a native, and we were chumming around, and of course he knew older people and got us a joint to try out. Um, I swear I didn't get high. I don't know if I didn't know I was high or what.
right.
But the next time I smoked high, I smoked some pin counting paralyzer out of a pipe, and like 2 or 3 hits of that, I was in another world for 4 hours. Yeah,
That's a long time. 4 hours.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Let me see. Let me see. So so of course I did my research and whatnot on you, and I watched your interview with Joe. Salute the
Okay,
man. But
yeah.
so
Shout
I
out,
heard you
Big
say you.
Joe.
Yeah, for sure. That's my man. He helped me out. I hit his phone. He right there. What you need? What's up?
Yeah,
very, very
yeah. That's
grateful for
my
him.
He's my debut man too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's what's up. Um, first off, I want to say I got my other uncle. I got his business shirt on, Shillings Car Wash. As Joe say, send a check. But so so I heard you say in Joe's interview that you grew up around some legends. So uh
Yes, sir. Yeah.
so can you kind of talk about how they influenced you and kind of helped you become somewhat of a pioneer that you are today?
Um, I guess basically they all they all had the philosophy that I have now. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
like, yeah, definitely give all the credit to my village.
Okay.
I mean, the one guy, he moved up here the year I was born, actually, and he's got 120 acres on a dead end road, and he was a little hippie, and he was back there brewing wine and growing pot plants, and several of those in the area, and some of the ones that made it through and didn't go to prison or get their operation squashed. I was pretty
Mm,
privileged enough to know them, because I've always hung out with older people. When I
yeah.
was 5, I was hanging out with my grandparents. When I was 12, I was hanging out with people that were 17 to 25. When I was 15, I was hanging out with people that were 30 and 40.
Mm,
And this
okay.
dude I'm talking about, he's what, 76 now.
Dang.
So he's 26 years my senior. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I can learn from 26 years the shit that he's went through that I haven't yet, or maybe
Right.
don't have to.
Yeah.
But then, well, just the knowledge, on how the plant operates and what kind of feed to give it and what to do, what not to do, and how to hide them. And there's a
Right.
lot to it back then when it was illegal.
Yeah. So talk about you trying to grow your first cannabis plant. How did that go and what was the outcome?
Huh. Um, there was very little outcome because I was dumb enough to show someone else. But my first cannabis plants, I was actually like 17,
Yeah.
living in the apartments uptown, and
Mm,
they come around every spring with a bunch of flats of flowers to plant out in front of the apartment building.
yeah.
So I took the opportunity to throw a few hundred seeds out into the flower bed and flooded it, turned the spigot on and flooded it, and then went ahead and planted the flowers there. And I lived right across the street from the office.
Right.
And they never did find them, but my girlfriend got nervous and made me dig them up and transplant them.
Mm,
And we never went back for those. The next
okay.
next time I tried it, the next year, I showed someone and it disappeared.
Yeah. Oh
So
man.
yeah, and then it just gradually progressed, and then it became legal. And then, of course, as soon as it became legal, I went full on right in my yard. Being able to
Right.
babysit them and cultivate them and all that. That's a whole different world there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Probably Rain is big on marijuana as well, or you whatever, cannabis,
Yep.
you know.
Yep. Yeah,
So how
it's been called marijuana for a long time. So
yeah. And you kind of, I heard because I was watching this like probably a day or two ago. You said marijuana comes from the Mexican and the Spanish culture people. That
yep.
term comes from them. So
Yes.
explain that a little bit, please.
Okay. Well, it translates Mary Jane. Okay. And if you, well, I should back up. There used to be like a medicinal potpourri that the Mexicans used. They
Right.
would mix herbs. into a potpourri to make tea out of medicinal tea, and they called it marijuana. Well, when
Mm,
I looked up marijuana, well, what I did is I looked up Mary, Mari in Spanish, and it said
yeah,
marigold. And then I looked up Jane in Spanish, and it said magnolia.
those are both flowers, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah.
So in Spanish, it translates the marigold magnolia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. Wow.
But okay, yeah. Now I just seen something like 2 days ago that referred to some Chinese word that it was like Marahan or something. That was some supposed to be some Chinese root for the word. So
Yeah.
I haven't looked into that yet.
Okay.
I,
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
I've
yeah,
really been
definitely
too busy.
hit Corporation Canines with that, so we can kind of look at that. But I was saying I kind of want to have you and Rain on because he's big on the cannabis. Have y'all both on together on here, and
Yeah,
and and I ask a couple questions about cannabis. I'm not too what's the word? I'm not too experienced or too knowledgeable about it. But I don't smoke. Also, that's one thing. I don't smoke,
not yet.
but I would like to learn about it because at some point I might end up once I get some property, growing a couple crops just for profit.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, I definitely will have to try and get that in the works here soon. so so you got quite a bit of dogs. So can you kind of go down the line and then we'll kind of dive into your antics with them and your methods.
Well, right now I'm working on two versions of home protection breed. One for inside, one for outside.
Okay. So what does that consist
Uh,
of, both of them?
okay, for the outside dog, I'm using my LGD cross, which is my Pioneer Shepherd breed I created. That I bred that male to a Central Asian Shepherd female.
Mm,
Uh, okay, I have a female pup, and I bred that to my male Dane, my Black Mano Dane.
okay. Okay.
But then you'd have to see the dog to, when you say Great Dane, most people get this image, and I promise you, that's not what my dog looks like.
Yeah, I remember because we talked about this. I remember you said, I mean, you're like I was saying something about bone density. You was like, no, my Great Dane is bone dense. It has
Yeah,
bone density. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He's a hound. Yeah, he's like a big, oversized coon hound,
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
which is literally what they're supposed to be. Is a boar hound. They're supposed to see a hound is a cross between a greyhound and a bulldog. That's where all your hounds started. Well,
See,
a Great Dane is a cross between an Irish Wolfhound and a Mastiff, which is the same cross basically, just in two different sizes. They're the same dogs. Just
yeah.
you know,
See, so we gonna save that for because we're gonna get into that because when we was talking last night, you brought that up, and I'm definitely gonna ask you about that and get
yeah, breed groups. Yep.
yeah, yeah. So but yeah, go ahead. So what's the what is the inside home guardians consist of? What is it? What is this mix?
Well, that's the same Great Dane stud, um, with Pit Bull, Cane Corso, and Doberman
Oh
in the
man,
female side.
you trying to kill somebody?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, sir. I don't want to have to pick up a gun,
Right.
and I don't want to have to get out of bed in the middle of the night to deal with a problem.
Yeah, yeah. You definitely you won't. It sounds
Yeah,
like you won't have to with that.
my days of raising friendly dogs are over.
Right. So
Yeah.
so would you say it's more work with the dogs that aren't as friendly or could be harder than the ones that are
No,
friendly?
because Well, it depends on why is the dog not friendly. I want a dog that's not friendly to strangers. I want a dog that's suspicious, threatened by strangers.
Right.
Wanting to defend against that stranger. But I don't want a dog that, like an extreme LGD, that just doesn't like people.
Yeah.
That
Right.
does not want to be told what to do, does not want to be handled. Does you know?
And do you take older dogs, like say that are getting rehomed, or do you buy puppies and then you build them and mold them to what you want?
Well, both, but I would prefer to get the dog as an adult.
Right. Yeah. A lot of
And
people.
if
That's
I'm
what I'm
going to
hearing
buy
from
a
a lot of people.
puppy, yeah, and if I'm going to buy a puppy, I'd prefer that puppy be about 4.5 months old, about 14 weeks.
I think Rain said the same exact thing on our interview. But yeah, that's definitely a
Yeah,
good age, so you can kind of see what you got.
yeah, give you a pretty good indication.
Yeah.
Pretty
Right.
good. Yeah.
So with puppies, would you say a pedigree is would you pick a pedigree or somewhat of a resume? Say like a, I don't know, a Great Dane, or like a dog that's parents have been on a farm or on a property, and say it had a live bite or had a I don't know, killed some coons or some or both parents would kill some coons or some coyotes. Would you prefer a resume, a working resume, or a pedigree when it comes to a puppy?
Absolutely. I want the resume of the dog and of the breeder.
Right.
The pedigree, if the pedigree was legit, it would be one thing. Because
Yeah.
you can absolutely breed off pedigree. You can select off pedigree because it's a law of percentages. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there's so many stacked papers. There's so many dogs that there's people that do what I do and lie about it. They'll make up more. They'll enhance the performance of their dog by mixing in another breed and just breed back to it and breed most of the trade out where you can't, like, they'll get rid of the disqualifying traits
Yeah.
and then they'll have a higher performing dog in that breed, but they don't tell you that.
Right.
Well, that's been going on. That's how these breeds got created in the first place. I don't know why we're lying about it, but that's
Yeah.
been going on since the beginning of time. That's not a new thing.
So in that instance, you would say you'd rather take a dog that has at least one generation of an outcross or a mixing over a dog that's been heavily line bred.
No, well, it depends. But personally, I would rather get a dog that's inbred
Right.
and predictable
Okay.
because I want to do what I want to do with the mix. I don't want, you know what I mean? I want the
Yeah.
hybrid vigor on my breeding, and I want to make sure that those dogs were selected the way I want them selected.
Right.
Yeah, I might not want that blood diluted.
Yeah. So I think I was kind of saving this for me and coach's episode, but I'm gonna have you get into it as well because I mean you're pretty stamped when it comes to this. What is hybrid vigor and how do you use it to your advantage?
Okay, hybrid vigor is just diversity. When you have two inbred lines, or it works even best when you have two different species, like a lion and a tiger.
Right.
When you cross, okay, when specimen A, when his genes split, he's given the same traits on both sides of the split because he's inbred. He's
Right.
not he's not given an A and a B. He's given two A's. And same with the female. Okay, so those traits aren't variable. So those pups are going to have a copy of the same two traits from mom and dad. And dad's dominant traits are going to cancel out all of mom's traits. And all of mom's dominant traits are going to cancel out all dad's recessive traits. So you're going to get any dominant gene that's in the gene pool of those two lines, you're going to get all stacked up on that F1 hybrid. Now, when you do a F2, that doesn't work that way. Because now you're splitting it up in 4 different ways, and you don't know what way it's going to recombine. It's going to be a 25, 50, 25. You know.
Yeah, and I think
What?
Rain told me. He said the F1 is it's a study. The F1 is always the best.
Yes, yes. Because when the F1 breed and produce an F2,
Mhm.
the recessive traits from dad go to half of his pups. The recessive traits from mom go to half of her pups.
Right.
They still be just because dad's dominant gene canceled out mom's expression of the recessive gene in the pups. Those pups, half of those pups are still going to get that gene. Same with the male's recessive. So now
Yeah.
you got pups that come out like the F1, and now you got pups that got the bad out of both that are totally backwards of what you started with, and then you got pups that are a blend this way. So you got 4 different blends of pups out of that, and then you
Right.
have to do your selection from that point.
Yeah. So how do you go about selecting when it comes
Well,
to
I
these
mean,
dogs?
it's easy because my dogs are always bred for a job,
Right.
so that's just that simple. Health is my number 1 concern. I'd rather breed a dog that didn't come out the way I wanted, and I have to breed something else into it, or have to inbreed it back to get the expression I want out of it, than I
Yeah.
would have a sick dog with skin problems or whatever that performs. I'd rather have the healthy dog. My number
Right.
2 is temperament. Okay, the dog got to recognize me as master, and the dog's got to have a certain disposition and a certain intelligence. And after that, it's just a matter of who's more physically capable and mentally capable, and who's showing me that.
Right. Okay. Okay. So let me see, because I had a question about so you do have a band dog breeding that just happened. So what
Yep,
did that consist of? That's actually your profile picture right there, the puppies, I'm pretty sure.
yep. That's them.
Okay, so what does that
Well,
consist of?
okay. To the best of my knowledge,
Mhm.
because of how things are. The mother is red nose pit and Corso,
Wow.
and then
Okay.
the stud is a Great Dane. I got some nice Corso looking pups out of the mix. So,
Yeah.
because that's another thing too. That Great Dane, what people don't realize, he's half Mastiff,
Yeah, half mastiff,
right?
half greyhound.
Right. So he's passing Mastiff genes to half his pups, basically. Even
Yeah.
though there is, it's not quite that simple because of meiosis. There is some blending, but he is literally no matter what you do, he's still a wolfhound mastiff mix.
Right.
He still carries those genes.
Yeah.
Like that. You look at his skull, he has a mastiff head.
For sure. Yeah. And I see my my homegirl, shout out Hazel at the Working Danes. She said some people don't what's the word? Some people don't call Danes they don't put them with the mastiff group because they have greyhound in them. Some, not all.
They're a hound.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're the hound group. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and that's why I said they get put in a massive group sometimes, which is like I said, you opening my eyes to that because I never would have guessed that. And then I want to
Yeah.
kind of so you said red nose pit. So there's some controversy with that. I think where some people say there's no such thing as a red nose pit or a blue nose pit.
They
How do
don't
you?
know history.
I say, how do you feel about that?
Well, it's a well-known fact that those dogs come from Ireland way back. They had them. For
Yeah,
one, I don't know. Red is very common, and I imagine they probably mixed Bordeaux or something in them way back then and brought it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some red bulldogs.
Right.
It's just in the blue dogs, they're just black dogs that picked up a dilute gene.
Yeah. Yep. I think you said that on whose page was that?
Yeah, dogs can
Oh,
have one of two or both colors, black or red.
yeah.
And white, of course, is the absence of color. All them other colors are a dilute gene or a mix of the black and red dilute, like diluted black with red in it, make
Yeah.
chocolate or, yeah.
Okay. So a lot of people say that what is it? Like the American pit bull, some of these bloodlines, they say they're pure or there wasn't anything that was bred out of them. But then you get traits. There's different traits with different bloodlines. So like Red Boy Jocko or other like Eli dogs. So
Yeah.
what's your dog bloodline, and if it is one, and what do you see?
Oh, yeah, I have no idea what
Okay.
the bloodline is. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but there's a couple reasons for that. And I know for a fact that there was a lot of crossbreeding in the pit bull.
Yeah.
And I mean, it only makes sense. If there wasn't, that means there was a bunch of dumb people with those game dogs,
Right.
because that is definitely one part of breeding performance animals. But you can take the same gene pool of dogs and never mix anything in them. You take them to Africa, they'll turn into a Boerboel. You take them to Italy, they'll turn into a Cane Corso. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're still the same dog,
Right.
basically. But
Yeah.
when I'm selecting for traits and you're selecting for traits, and Red is selected for traits, and Coach is selected for traits, and we're not trading notes and we're not breeding together, we're in our own isolated pack, the dogs are not going to be the same. And within 3 or 4 generations,
Right.
they're going to have a lot of similarities, but one dog's going to have more jowls or a longer snout or bigger ears or a wider chest or a different type of feet or something, or different colors.
Yeah.
You could black and tan hound, a tricolored hound, a red hound, a brindle hound. They're all basically the same dog.
Right. And Rain says something about I reference him a lot because man he has some great knowledge. But he says I think he said dogs are one of the mammals that have evolved the quickest out of all of them. Like you see, I think he referenced the bull terrier on Joe's show, talking about how it's his snout and the head structure changed because it looked like a totally different dog from back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with a lot of these other dogs. They look totally different back then from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's God's gift, your ability to make that dog whatever you want.
yeah. I think Neil Mack had a question. I think he said you kind of answered it, but he said every puppy my girl drops carries a different variance. It's got me confused about pit bull, Staffordshire, pit bully, or hybrids. Who was first, and do they all carry a shared gene?
Well, it all started with the bulldog, and then the Irish Terrier mixed in to make the Irish pit bull, and then of course the English staff, and then the American staff or pit bull, whichever you want to call it. And I believe the staff come after the pit, right? Like that's a AKC thing. It's like they do
Yeah,
all the
I
other dogs.
think they were
Yeah, they
trying to
take the
say
pit bull.
pit bull. Yeah,
Yeah, they breed it back to a bulldog, make it bigger, breed the temperament out, rename it. They do that to every breed they get
right.
their hands on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a sad thing, but yeah,
yeah.
that's
But I mean, a lot of pit bulls are mixed, and there's a lot of backyard bred pit bulls, or oh, it'd be cool to breed my pit to my Doberman or my Mastiff or my Corso or my Lab or whatever. Yeah, there's pit bulls are the. I mean, you're just your average street pit bull is the biggest mutt,
Yeah, definitely.
especially now with the bullies.
Yeah, I see it. Like I'm starting to see more like pit bullies, pit bull excuse me, standard bully crosses. And some people are using them for like sport club work, like where they're like it's point like the point systems and the outs and the sits and the recall and all that. They're using pit bullies, which they look like good performers. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
they're fluid movements and whatnot.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
pit bulls, a
kind of trendy
supreme
also.
athlete that's been bred to be handled. Yeah, they've been bred to be
Yeah,
handled. Pleases the master.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was watching I think the Social Bulldog Club. That's the name. Shout out to him.
Oh,
He
that's funny.
why you laugh? Why was that funny?
Uh, I'll talk to you later about that one.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
I'm not gonna do that. Yep.
right. Yeah, hit me. Um,
Yeah.
but he was talking to I think Pride Rock Tosas, and he was just going over the Tosa and his history, and he said there was it was the development of it. There was a lot of different breeds, and the Japanese folk would choose
Yeah.
dogs that they wanted to mix into it, but they would still call it a Tosa, like Saint
Yeah.
Bernard, GSP, English
Yeah.
Mastiff. Uh, and the English Mastiff they actually said was its joints were so well put together and made the dog move so fluently. They couldn't help but use the English Mastiff. But this was back then,
Yeah.
of course, not now.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And he also
Everybody.
incorporated Pit Bull. Also, sorry, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe that was their first cross, the pit bull.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, when they ran into the English dogs, they found out what dogs were all about.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because
definitely.
their Akita was their champion.
Yep. And they're smaller there. I think it's because of the can't remember what dog, but they're smaller there. I think, and they're bigger here. I could be wrong, but I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure.
Oh no, you're right. There's a Japanese Akita.
Yeah,
That's a game dog, bear hound, and then there's the American Akita. That's AKC reproduction.
right.
Yeah,
I wonder
most
how it
likely.
sized
I
up
don't
against the
know. I
bear.
never researched it. What's that?
I wonder how it sized up against the bear at its smaller stature.
Well, the bear just runs from the pack of dogs. Most of
Yeah,
them do anyway. They
yeah.
run
So
and run up a tree.
right.
Yeah, until they get a certain size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so we're gonna reference the band dog with this, but how do you know or determine that you're going to use this dog for this breeding?
Temperament and physical ability.
Right.
Yeah, my dogs all have the. They all have. No matter what breed, they all have the same temperament. Like they love the kids. You know what I mean? Other puppies, other animals. They're loyal. They listen. You don't need a leash or a shock collar.
Yeah. How do you
And
feel
they're
about shock collars?
strong
What
and
is
healthy. That's a deep subject, but yeah, I mean they're a very useful tool. They can definitely be abused. Um, you should probably have to take a course before you're allowed to have one.
right?
And probably, you should probably even have to put it on. But I heard a perfect analogy for why to justify a shot collar. If you got a dog that's just so hard headed and so wound up that you can't get through to him, and the only way you can keep his dumb ass from running out in the road is to get run over. is to train him with a shot collar. I
Yeah.
don't think the shot collar is cruel, you
No,
know.
definitely
But
not.
I've
But it's
used
just all
them.
about how
I've,
you use
I've
it.
used them. I've only used them on 2 different dogs. And the one I had was called a trash breaker. This was years ago. They didn't have no adjustment. When you lit them up, and it pulled their feet right out from underneath them.
Wow.
That dog lay there squalling until you take your finger out the button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it was a one-time deal because, and I mean, not with all dogs. Some dogs you can't break. They're just so bullheaded. I can tell you
Yeah.
some stories, other people's stories. Yeah, and you just can't break them. But my dogs, they one shock and that was it.
Yeah. Especially with these mastiffs and these bigger breeds. um But as Duro says, it's a lot of fur baby daddies and fur baby mamas that they try and regulate those certain things when they've never
I
experienced the, go ahead.
Okay. All I got to say about that is look around you and look at the condition of the world you're in. And that's because we've been trying to run this off of ideals.
Yeah,
Science don't give a fuck about your ideals.
right.
That's just the cold hard truth. You know what I mean? You can't step out in front of a train and say the fucking train was mean. You know what I mean? It's a train.
Yeah.
Some things are just what they are. You
Right.
can't, you can't baby your ways around it.
No.
That's a problem with the world. They don't want to face reality.
Yeah, it's a cold world. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And your Shih Tzu or Pomeranian ain't gonna stop nobody if they come through
Yeah.
there and they want you gone or they want what you got.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes into like the man stopper. How do you what do you think a man stopper is, and what does that term mean to you?
Well, I mean, your average police dog, I could kill that dog so fast.
Mm,
And I'm on a dog that's not possible.
right.
I'm on a. I mean, their dogs are that way for a reason. They can't have the dogs, the type of dogs that I want to have. The public is not going to let the police have a dog like that.
Yeah. No.
There's a reason why those dogs are that small and why they attack the left arm and shit like that. There's
Yeah.
reasons for all that.
Because you
But
don't want to devastate nobody.
I'm
Yeah.
doing something totally different.
Right.
And to me, a man stopper is just a dog like a mastiff that is not afraid to charge a man right in his face. Doesn't have to sneak around him and bite him in the ankle. Gonna face to face, gonna knock his ass down and start breaking bones.
Yeah, he's gonna go for the face. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see some people. I think I looked up the bulldog for some reason, but it was labeled a man stopper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, right. There's a 95% of the population stopper, and then there's a man stopper.
Yeah.
I want a man stopper.
Right.
That man that's 300 pounds that ain't afraid of that little pit bull that think, you know what I mean? Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? I want a dog that can stop him.
Right.
Not a dog that can stop the cast of friends.
Yeah, because I'm 300 pounds. Yeah, I'm like a 50-pound dog isn't going to be able to. Because I felt a 150-pound dog. I mean,
Yeah.
it won't be as effective as say a 150, 170, 145-pound dog would be.
Yeah, I'm going for a dog that's built like Mayday that's 160 pounds.
Right. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a good it's a pretty cool pheno to go after and breed
Yeah.
for. So so what is the use for your band dog?
Oh, that's mainly a man stopper, but me being a hunter and a trapper, I've actually one time I had the privilege of catching escape hogs with my dogs.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. But I mean, we don't have them around here. I'm not in Texas,
Right. Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. Michigan. We farm more of them than
yeah,
the sparrow. I mean,
yeah.
some escape, but the it's the more there's more that are domestic than there are wild for sure.
But the one thing about it is, if my dog is physically capable, which I know how to judge that from and from experience, and my dog's a man stopper, I don't have to worry about him working a pig because if he can take the pressure of man work, he ain't afraid of shit. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You'll have dogs that'll fight bears that won't fight a man. The dogs that'll fight cows and you know what I mean? Everything. They won't fight a
Right.
man.
Yeah.
And they definitely won't take no pressure from one.
No.
So yeah, so if you can get a dog to do man work, go do anything.
Right.
And
Um.
obviously, I mean, you do have to have some prey drive too, but you'll see that. You'll know
Yeah.
that you have prey drive and you have that defense drive that unbreakable drive, defense drive. And
So,
yeah, it's just a given that he's going to work a pig.
right.
I want my pig to have the mastiff. I don't want my pig to grab an ear and hold on. I want one to grab the muzzle or the back of the neck, and one to grab the back leg. Disable that thing.
Right. So you said something. You said grab the back of the neck. So I made a post about a week or two ago talking about the pit bull or the not even just a pit bull. I mean, because they are capable hog hunters. They've done it for years now, many years. But I said it'd be more ideal for a dog with the structure and the standard to be able, such as like a Great Dane or dogs with taller stature that are a little thicker to hunt hogs.
Yep. A couple of reasons. Yeah,
Get
for
into
one,
those.
they're fighting down,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they're not trying to fight the weight of the other animal. The other animal's trying to fight their weight. Now they're up top where they can move their back legs out of the way and move her around with that pig. And another thing is, if that pig hooks them, you can stop the bleeding in that artery in the leg a lot easier. You can tuck his intestines back in.
yeah, exactly. Yep.
And I believe that's exactly why the Great Dane is built like that. Because when them boars go to tusk your dog, well, my dog's legs cut and your dog's guts are laying on the ground.
That's a big
It
difference.
doesn't, your gameness doesn't serve you any purpose
If you're dead, yeah,
when you're dead.
right. And you've taken a loss. I mean, you've lost a dog also, and you're losing money.
Yeah,
Which, yeah, definitely, yeah. Like the Great Dane. I mean, it was that's what it was called, the Boarhound. That was its
yeah.
I think original name. I think we had a question. Dylan or Dylan? Ooh, hold on. Man, you got to tell me.
Dylon,
I think it might be.
Dylon, is that a Chappelle fan? Remember that Dylon?
Yeah.
That's funny shit. First
He
thing
said
I
which
thought
one?
of.
He said which one? Caveman. Which one is better, Bully Kuda or Cutter or Tosa Inu?
Oh, well, I wouldn't have no idea.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to depend on the line, depends on what you're talking. But well, I sure like the Tosa. They're awful proportion, pretty good, and awful rough, and they got an awful big bite for their size.
Definitely.
Yeah, Bully Cutta. That's more like to me. They're more like a skinny, sloppy version of a Great Dane.
Yeah. Yeah. There's different
Yeah, I'm
variants
not.
with those too.
I, yeah, there are. But I'm not real impressed with those actually.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just don't like the looks of them. They
Yeah.
got too much jowls and they're too lanky. Not enough bone, not enough mass. I mean, yeah. See, there's some variances because now they say that. I remember seeing some that look just like pit bulls,
Really?
and Great Dane legs. Yeah.
I haven't
So,
saw those.
that's what I mean. It's about who's breeding these dogs and what are they doing with them.
Right.
You know, the
Yeah.
hell with what they call them. Go get 10 labs unrelated, not from the same person or not from somebody they got their dogs from. But go get 10 black labs and put them in a room together. You tell me which one's a black lab.
Yeah,
Because
they're
there's
all
so many
black.
variances. There's so many variances in that dog. Yeah, they're black. That's the only thing they got in common.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So who's got a black lab that can float and that can retrieve, and who's just got a couch dog,
Right.
you know, just bred to be black.
I say because not all I've heard all not all labs or GSPs can swim or either retrieve a bird.
No, no, that all that stuff has to be selected. That's why you got a 3 generation pedigree. Just like you can build a breed in 3 generations, you can wipe one out in 3. You can
Yeah.
screw them up in one generation. You can screw them up.
Wow.
But if you keep going, you can wipe them right out.
Mm.
You
Dang.
know? At least get them to that point where there's no stopping them.
All right. So so what does band dog mean to you? What does the definition mean to you? What is your definition? I'm sorry, I should say that.
My definition of a band dog is a dog that has prey and defense drive, that is restrained until the point he's released on a quarry to do his work,
Right.
whether man or beast. Get him,
Mm.
and it doesn't have to be both. It can be one or the other.
Right.
But
And with that formula, does it have to be a mastiff pit bull or a bull cross?
no, it literally is any dog that
Yeah.
does that job is
Right.
a band dog. I believe the term means to be restrained.
Yeah. Yeah. It bandit or bandage. Yeah. That I think that episode where we went over Lee Robinson and David Ishii talking about band dogs, they stated that. I mean, it's just a dog bandit. That's what the original definition meant, or tied up. um, Hunter Larson, salute, man. How you doing, brother? Hunter said there's a dude in Pakistan breeding pits and bully cutters, and they just look like a catch weight game dog.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
no, that would be something. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Reddy said the
yeah. If
bully
you
cutters
take it like
are fighting.
American American Bully and breed it to a Bully Cuda, it has a nice pup.
Yeah, I wonder what that looked like.
Well, it's gonna vary, within the litter
Yeah,
probably a little bit. But
of course.
these band dogs I bred, it's amazing how uniform. And part of that reason is because the Great Dane is 50% of the genetics, and the Corso's 25 and the Pit 25, but then the Corso's a Mastiff, and so the Dane is part Mastiff.
So
So
it's a stronger mastiff type way of
yeah, and hard telling what that red nose, that what that bully had in it.
yeah. Um. So what was the use for those three dogs? What did you see? What did you like, and why did you choose them?
Well, the size and athleticism of the Dane,
Right.
and also their hound temperament. They're good family dogs, good protective dogs, and you can select good actual hounds out of them.
Right.
And then the pit bull, that's just a given. I mean, where do I start on that? The only default a pit bull has is they don't have the ass that they deserve.
What you
You
mean
know,
by that?
like if they were big enough to back up their disposition,
Yeah. Right.
yeah,
Okay. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah, that's their only default is their size.
Right.
And the Corso is the perfect That's like the Mastiffs. They are the ultimate defense drive dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think who was that I was talking to? I think it was Rain again. He was talking about the Italians used I think boxer and Neapolitan and maybe something else for to create their line of Cane Corso.
Yeah.
And the Americans use Rottweiler and Neapolitan to develop their line of Cane Corso.
Yeah. There's some that have got Great Dane in them too.
Yeah, yeah, people use different
Yeah.
ones. But the presser, I mean,
Yeah.
that's I feel like that's the ultimate dog that had a lot of breeds used to rejuvenate it or bring it back. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Rain said like Fila, Old English, Pit Bull. Some Doberman was used, I think, a little bit, but they didn't
Okay.
like how it looked. Just a lot of different breeds to try and bring it back, but they bred it to the original dog that was bred that was still alive that was used to develop the original Presa Canario, the Bardino
Right.
Mahuero.
Yeah. It's yep. A Canary Island version of the Argentinian Dogo. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Two different places, pretty much the same dog
right.
in the end. Yeah, they might look a little different, might be different colors, but you break down those dogs for me, you know what I mean, and you'll see 90% similarities
Yeah,
in the breeding and the physical traits and the use and the temperament, everything.
right.
It's like all the Mastiff breeds, don't matter where they're from. They might be a little different. One might be sloppier, one might be thinner, one might be shaggy, one might be a different color.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think
just
most of these
different
massive
versions.
breeds have been brought back or like had to be rejuvenated, like
Yeah,
the
like the
English
English,
Mastiff.
the Neo.
Yeah. See, I'm not too familiar with the Neo and how they brought him back. I'm not too familiar with that one, but the English Mastiff, I
Well,
know it was. Go ahead, go ahead.
I'm not sure either because I didn't take that much interest. But when I used to have Mastiffs, there was
Yeah,
no distinction between any Mastiff breed. I had Bordeaux's. People had Neapolitans. I had English. What else? But anyway, they were Mastiffs on their paperwork. It did not say English Mastiff. It did not say Italian Mastiff. It did not say Neo.
mm,
And I think the Neo was the first one that they did break off and give a designation. But yeah, at one time it was just Mastiff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Joe said the Connie Depressa was,
Yeah.
and that's kind of that's a variant. That's like the third dog. That's because it's a group. It's the Neo, the Connie, and the Connie Depressa. It
Hmm.
was those three dogs, and the Connie Dupressa was more of that kind of prey dog out of the two, out of the three, excuse me, and was more. It was like I looked it up. It was actually like a standard height and weight, I think, for the dog. I can't remember, but it was more of I think like the cat. They did more of the catch work and the guard work on properties and farms and whatnot.
Yep. Yeah. The Corso and the Boerboel. I mean, that's what Boerboel means, is farm dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Boer for farmer. It's the region, Boer region. Looks like the Boer goats.
Mm. Joe said
The Boer
1949
wars.
the Connie Depressa turned into the Neo. Man, we're gonna have to get into that for sure. I'm gonna definitely do my
Yeah.
research. Um,
Yeah. I never researched them. I
yeah, I'm
researched the
definitely.
pit bull the
Hmm.
most. Um, a lot of the other breeds I didn't really research that far, just to know their
Yeah,
little bit of their origin, their purpose. Well, yeah, the pit bull I've done deep. That was my first dog as an adult I got, and I was obsessed for a while with them.
Mm.
Yeah, there
So,
was somebody that had pit bulls in Michigan. I was going to see them.
yeah, sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
breeders, not people with pets. I'm talking
right.
breeders.
Yeah. I think I watch a lot. I watch like before I started all of this with the interviews and the videos, I watched a lot of Joe's videos. I'd be at work and I have headphones and just playing all of them, listening to them. And I remember I think Schoolboy stated the pit bull can be inbred the most out of any dog and not have issues.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I want
I guess
I'm
I've
gonna try.
never tested that theory. I'd have to. I mean, they are pretty hardy because they've been held to the highest criteria,
Yeah,
but not. I mean, not necessarily because the hounds, like the German short-haired pointer and tree and Walker coonhound, they've been put through the rigors, buddy, and they're
yeah.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, they're rough, some rough dogs.
All right. So man, we kind of went on a just a tangent into the mixing and
Yeah,
the different crosses. But
it's all
so if
right.
you could you oh no, it's all good, man. That's what we're supposed to do. We on here when we was on topic. I mean, that's all good, man. So what if you can say it on here? What is your testing methods for dogs that are using your program?
Well, it kind
Man,
of changed like before.
specifically band dog, not to cut you off.
Yep. Okay, the band dog. That's gonna be, their disposition. Like, how bold is this dog? You start straight out from the time they're puppies. You
Yeah.
drop something on the floor or make a loud noise. See who runs. See who barks. See who charges forward, and see who stops,
Right.
investigates, and then cautiously comes forward to see what's going on. That's the puppy I want.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, because I want a little more brains, and I don't want just a straight hard charging dog. If that's what I was looking for, well, then I would take the one that, you know, which that is actually what I selected out of my Dane and LGD cross. I selected the little female that she come charging right out of the pack when everybody else went to hide.
Mm.
And these little band dog pups, they're running around assaulting furniture, strutting around barking. Of course, they don't know what these obstacles are, at the first time they see them. And
Right.
3 weeks old, they're 4 weeks now, but yeah, they're showing me their disposition already.
Yeah.
But it's going to be that dog. As far as my band dogs, I am going to keep the prey drive, but my band dogs are going to be selected from the dogs that have the nerve to look a man in the face.
Yeah.
And not playing, not sport, not playing.
And if you could share, how do you
So,
kind of how do you so you I think you kind of said it like dropping stuff in, but how do you know if a dog is nervy or has good nerves? Especially mainly like the
well, I mean,
mastiff, it's more issues with them with that.
yes. Well, the mastiff, you can see it. I mean, the tail tucked, head down, the sideways look, that suspicious look, but you can tell, that they're scared. They're not bold. They're not, they should be giving you that sideways glance with their tail over their back and their head held high and maybe a little rumble to their voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. I mean, other than that, you got to put pressure on them and test them, but it's pretty obvious right off the bat who's confident and
Right.
who's just scared.
Yeah.
Which that's a big problem in the Mastiffs because when you're breeding defense drive, that defense drive is defense against a threat. And when you double up on that, now you got a dog that's too threatened.
Yeah, yeah. It's wary of everything.
Just yeah, it's like gameness and coldness.
Yeah.
A dog so game you don't even give a shit.
That's a liability.
Yeah. Well, my Pyrenees, he was so confident. I mean, he did another male dog let growl. He just like strut by like, yeah, whatever, bitch. You know, you had to actually engage him,
Yeah.
and I seen him do some shit to
Right.
intruders that was pretty gruesome.
Oh man. So he's had a
Yeah,
live
he
bite.
wasn't not a person. No,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
no,
Yeah. Yeah. So I get you. I get you.
yeah.
Them Pyrenees, I like them, man. They don't. I mean, some of them do, but most of them don't give off that kind of that look that they're like I'll really eat you up.
No, they're too friendly for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That
What
my
what
Pyrenees actually is 50% Pyrenees, 25% Kangal or Anatolian or whatever the dog really was,
mm,
and 25% giant Malamute.
oh wow.
And he looked like a Pyrenees. Yeah, he looked like Pyrenees, but he was not.
Yeah.
And he was actually he was a lot bigger than a Pyrenees.
Mm. Yeah, the
But
Pyrenees
Pyrenees
they
are
have
human
tools.
friendly.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
and
mean, that's because they've been around
that's
them.
what I'm moving away from. I'm moving away
Right.
from the pit bull and the Pyrenees and the friendly dogs,
So what are
going
some of those
to
dogs that you think are
defensive
more
dogs.
more defensive? Give us a few that you think are.
Number one, I'm going to say Mastiff. Um, and then I mean, there's several Mastiff breeds.
Right.
Then you got your Rottweiler, your Doberman, Great Danes, some of your hounds. That's another thing. It all depends on the breeding because my hounds were very good watchdogs, and they had the nerve to do man work. And
Mm,
I've seen blue tick coon hounds that would straight up eat you.
wow.
But mainly your mastiffs and your Doberman, your Shepherd, basically dogs that weren't bred to be handled by strangers, or to
Yeah.
serve people.
Mm, okay. Okay. So, let me see. So you kind of got into your that the Pyrenees, Malamute, and Kangor Anatolian mid cross. That's your livestock guardian dog, correct?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
That was my foundation stud. I don't have him anymore. I
Oh, okay.
I only have one of my LGDs left. That's that female.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I moved away from friendly dogs to protection dogs.
Right.
I had a little incident here, and my dogs weren't bred for that. I didn't want any liabilities, and I wanted, nice friendly dogs. And
Mm.
now I don't.
So you have stock. So you still have livestock.
I'm not currently.
Okay.
No, I
Okay.
got get. I usually get rid of everything in the winter, so
Yeah.
I don't have to buy grain and shit.
I say, why is that?
Too, oh, it's too expensive.
Right.
I'll tell you, that's another thing about our system that's corrupted. The government subsidizes these corporate farms so that they can lose money farming, so that you can't afford to produce it
Mm.
at a profit. If you go buy a calf at market value and you go buy all the stuff, all the feed and everything, and that, I mean, I'm not even talking facilities or labor or your utilities or nothing. I'm talking just the feed. You
Yeah.
will lose money when you take that livestock into the market and sell it, you will lose money.
Yeah.
And so do they, but then the government sends them a check.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Subsidies.
Yeah.
Yeah, paying you to lose money.
Yeah, I was talking
Control the market.
to a guy. He's not a big chicken farmer, but he said he's recently bought chickens, and I mean, he said it's slowed down. Like even just him small producing on a small end. I mean, he said the eggs are just so expensive, and even just like producing like meat chickens because he's just bought some. He said he's not making his money back or anything like that, or it's not a valuable thing where you're seeing a win on one end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you need about $3.50 a pound out of them broilers,
Yeah.
and you can go buy them for 69 cents a pound.
Mm,
Or at least you can buy the drums, leg quarters and shit.
right. Yeah, that's usually cheaper than
Yeah,
like wings and stuff.
yeah. The wings might be 3.50, 4.50 a pound, but the rest of the chicken is cheaper usually
Yeah.
here anyway. Yeah, but mainly
Um.
the beef is.
Yeah. New Dogman asked, what blood is he running now?
Dogs or bloodlines? I don't do bloodlines right
Yeah.
now.
So
Actually,
I'm
my own bloodline.
pretty sure he's talking about dogs.
Just what I mentioned. Well, I guess what I didn't mention was the Malinois. I'm
Yeah.
throwing that
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
mix on the outside. Yeah,
Oh
on the
wow.
outside guardian. I'm gonna do a Malinois Dane, and I'm gonna breed that back to my LGD cross. I'm breeding. I've got the Dane cross to the Central Asian Shepherd, and I'm gonna have Malinois Central Asian Shepherd, and I'm gonna have Malinois Dane.
Man, so what you expecting from that?
Well, future breedings. It's see, that's the thing. If you got a project in mind, you just pick a trait. Like, pick what do you want your dog to be in the end. Pick out breeds
Right.
that have those traits. And if it takes you 3 different breeds to get, if you want gameness and size and long hair, then you know what I mean. You get a pit
Yeah.
bull, you get a mastiff, and you get a shepherd or whatever, a poodle or something with long hair, and you breed them. And you select the puppies that have the traits you want. You might have to select a puppy that's got 2 traits you want and another puppy that's got 2 traits that you want, but one's got a trait that the other one's missing, and you got to breed those together and select those puppies. And, you know.
Right.
But okay, now another thing is, if you're like I'm doing, there's a common theme in my dogs that outweighs all the other inputs, and that's the Central Asian Shepherd.
Yeah.
There's more Central Asian Shepherd than any other breed.
And what does a Central
So
Asian
now
Shepherd
I
add
have a
that you
Central
like?
Asian. What's that?
What does a Central Asian Shepherd add to the breeding that you like?
You know, they could probably do the job on their own without adding anything. Actually,
Right. Yeah.
you know,
For
you know,
sure.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just
Not to
adding the
cut you
size.
off. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you
Yeah.
off. You was about to say something else.
Oh no, yeah. I pretty much said it. I have that common denominator where all the pups are at least half Central Asian Shepherd.
Yeah.
So that every time you do a breeding, those pups are half Central Asian Shepherd at least. And then only 25 or maybe not even 25% this breed, 25% that breed.
Right.
So now you have a Central Asian Shepherd with traits from these two breeds.
Okay. Okay.
Just like if you was trying to build a line off of one dog, you take a male and breed them to several females, and you breed all those pups. The more females you use, the more you can breed to that male, because all the pups have his genes, but yet you got diversity.
Right.
So you can make multiple breeding that are all half him every time, all half him.
Yeah. Yeah. That's smart though.
Yeah,
Especially if it's a good dog that you do like and it
yeah,
has
and if you
everything you
dilute
want.
it, right, and if the dog is 50% Central Asian Shepherd and it's only 10% this, and or let's say 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, 12 and a half, what do you think the dog's going to be like? And
Right.
then you just pick the pups that carry the dominant traits that those other breeds you brought into the equation. Pick the pups that carry the dominant traits of those breeds with the
Yeah.
shepherd.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. That's man. Yeah, you got to
So
cook up
all
going.
about selection and percentages and
Right.
testing.
So how do you you kind of got into that, and then you're not really into the Ellis livestock guardian dogs anymore.
No,
So
not
yeah, I was
anymore. I mean, we
yeah
can talk about that. I did all that. Yeah, from ground
right
zero to finish. Sure.
yeah. So because I was gonna ask how you kind of test them for their job.
How I selected them?
Yeah, how you select them
You cut
and
out for a minute. I didn't. Okay, well, they were actually doing the job. They were all my livestock was running free range, and all my dogs were running free range with them.
yeah
And I started out with one dog and a few chickens. This was
okay
after, I'd already done dogs and farming and all that, but at some point I come back from pipelining and settled down for a minute and got some chickens, and somebody dropped off this dog, give me a sob story, and I didn't even want the dog. I had a couple bear hounds and didn't want any more dogs, but she sob storied me into taking the dog. So
all
I
right
told her, I said, I'll tell you what, there was one pup, and I said, take that pup right there and set it down on the ground, and we'll see. She said, what do you
yeah
mean? I said, take that black puppy, sit it on the ground. If it don't chase my chickens, I won't shoot it. If it doesn't run out on the road, it won't get ran over. I don't even want the dog. Yeah, I can stay. And she was the most perfect dog you ever want to see.
Hmm.
And she started getting, 5, 6 years old. And I'm thinking, man, you know what? I probably should breed this dog.
yeah
Yeah, it actually took me till the dog was 9 years old before I found a male that I was willing to breed to.
wow.
And I found that big white dog. Yeah.
What big white dog?
That one in the pictures, that Pyrenees Kangal Malamute.
I'm about to, I finally got Instagram on here. I'm about to pull it up. Let me just to give y'all some visual representation. 'Cause that's
Yeah, he
kind of
was big. I told the guys the other night that he was 32 inches, but that's my inseam. He must have been probably like 36, counting my boots.
wow.
Because when I would straddle him, he would be tight. He would be tight up against my crotch, like pushing up on my body.
Right.
It
Yeah.
was withered.
Wow.
And his head was something else. I mean, he was massive dog, massive,
Mm.
big, gentle, giant, nice dog ever. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't see how big he is there.
And then the band dog puppies.
Now you're getting in, yeah. Now you're getting into what I have currently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those first
Puppies
pictures
are
are
big.
old. That's like Yeah, I actually, if I could figure out how to turn this camera around, I brought 4 of them out here. Try to
Oh, that'd be
spotlight them, but
nice.
yeah, they're taking a nap. But yeah, I don't know um on this app. How do I turn the camera towards not facing towards me? How do
Um,
I?
let me see.
You might not know on a cell phone either.
Yeah, because I use a laptop mainly.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let's see what this
I think it might only do face. I mean, you might have to just flip the
move.
camera to kind of where it's on your face, you know?
Mhm. Edit audio. Yeah, just flip the phone around, but I won't be able to
Right.
see where you're pointing,
Yeah.
or what I'm displaying is what
Right.
let me see.
There we go.
Is it working?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
Yeah. It looks
snoozing right
good.
now.
Wow.
What's it?
That's a good looking puppy,
Am I too
man.
close? Too far?
No, that's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. You can get a good. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, some good looking pups, man. Wow.
What's up, little buddy?
Yeah. Okay, man. You got some work, man. You got some work on you for sure.
Yep. I only keep and breed the best. I select through a lot of dogs. Like my hounds. When I did them, I got 9 hounds and selected
Dang.
3 of them, a male and 2 females.
See, a lot of people aren't willing to do that though.
Selected 6 of them.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't going to do that. The dogs say bye, they
Yeah.
gonna use them.
Plus, I'm already sorting through the dogs that I get in the first place. Turning
Right.
down dogs. You know,
Yeah.
like no. Yeah. Do the best selection you can before you bring it to your yard and select again. That's the thing about having numbers too. You can't do that if you got a pair of dogs or if you have a female and you go get her studded. You know.
Yeah. Oh, Reddy had a question. He said, "Ask him about the Akbash, if you're familiar with that."
What about the Akbash?
He said, "Ask you
Am I?
about it. How you think? What do you
Yeah,
think
I
about it?"
actually had that in. Oh, they're really nice. Yeah, very. They have some of the highest drive and some of the best nerve, and that's one of the LGDs you could use for man work. They're one of the more athletic breeds.
Yeah.
Probably got more endurance than most of the other breeds. Yeah, I really like them. They're hard. They're hard too. I had those in. See, when I made my LGD breed, I had 3 males and 6 females. I didn't just use those 2 dogs and then breed the pups.
Yeah.
You know, I had Akbash, um, and Central Asian Shepherd, and then I even had another dog that was Pyrenees mix. 2 dogs, yeah, 2 dogs that were Pyrenees mutts. Like the one dog was American Bully and German Shepherd mixed with Pyrenees.
Wow.
So then when I bred that dog, I had 3/4 Pyrenees and 1/8 Bully and 1/8 Shepherd. Or I think that dog was double bred back to her dad. So it was. But anyway, I used the diversity of breeds, so I wasn't inbreeding.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I had that wide base that all had that same similarity, though.
Right.
And besides the fact that besides the couple, they were all LGD breeds. All designed for the same job.
Right. Mm. So so yeah, we got into the dogs. I think that one. I mean, you gave some great answers for sure. So you did state that you were a trapper, and that can be that can be taken in a different way. But you trap. So
Yeah,
what
no, not
are
that kind. Um,
so what are some
I'm
of
a
the animals
predator
that you do
trapper.
trap? Okay, and what are some of those predators that you do
Well,
trap?
eagle trap it, Lower Peninsula, every everything in Michigan, really. Everything from muskrat to weasel to mink, beaver, otter, bobcat, coyote, fox,
Hmm,
and then
okay.
things you don't want like the skunk, possum.
What's it like trapping a
Yeah, I
skunk?
started cutting up there for a minute.
Yeah, you did
What's
cut up.
that?
What's it like trapping skunks?
Yeah, stinky.
Yeah,
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 you gotta do that very carefully. You're gonna smell for weeks. Yeah,
right, man.
yeah. Best way is catch them in a cage and then cover it up, or catch them in a trap that's dark so that they don't spray.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I never thought
Yeah, a
about
lot of
that.
people are staying off at a distance and shoot them and leave them lay there.
Yeah. um. So what are
They're
so
worth
so
money.
are they?
Yeah, the hide's worth money, and
Oh, okay.
they use the glands, the skunk smell for perfumes and stuff. And they use it for a lot of trapping lures, especially your predators.
Yeah.
So the lure makers will buy it. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. See, I heard that about the perfume. I just never knew if that was true.
Yeah, and it's like beaver castor. That's in a lot of your, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but it's artificial fruit flavoring foods.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Castoreum from the beaver.
heard that.
But it smells good.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
they got a nice sweet smell.
Yeah. So what's the hardest animal to catch? You'd say
Coyote, by far.
just because they're smart.
Yeah. Bobcats, coon. Yeah, well, they're smart, but the reason we think they're smart is because they're scared.
Yeah.
They're suspicious of everything, and of
Right.
course their senses are keen, so they notice everything, and they're always looking for something out to get them. You know,
Yeah.
it's called neophobic, afraid of anything new. So
Yeah.
it's
That makes
hard.
sense.
Let's say I wanted to get you to stick your foot in the trap. I either got to go to your home or your travel route to work or your work, and I have to dig a hole in the ground or in your floor and bury a trap in there and then cover it back up and make it look like I was never there.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds difficult.
Yeah, well, that's hard to do to a coyote.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
some animals they don't know, they'll just blunder through. They'll step right
Right.
in a trap that you can see.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can just leave your trap sitting right out in the open. They'll step right in it. You
Right.
have no idea.
And you I seen on your Instagram you had a picture of you. I think you had a dog dispatching a coyote. I think that was it might be a little older. I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah, he didn't actually do that. He was just mouthing it.
Oh, okay. So do you use dogs to dispatch
Yeah,
uh predators, animals that
I
you
don't.
captured? You don't? Okay. Okay.
No, I've used dogs to pursue animals and have the dog catch. but not once I had one in a trap. But
Right.
it really wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I've actually had, that Pioneer Shepherd pup of mine. He actually did that to a coyote, and I made him quit because I didn't want him ripping the hide up.
Yeah. Right.
And that's another thing too. Those dogs had that drive to do that, and when I tell them quit, that I'm sure you should find a picture on there. That dog stood there at attention, just waiting for the command to eat that coyote, but he backed off. And same when I caught that pig, I took 3 of my dogs and caught that pig, and then I walked over and I grabbed the pig by the back legs and called the dogs off the pig, and I actually drug the pig back to the butcher shop.
Wow.
It's like a 130-pound pig.
Yeah.
It was small enough to get underneath the gate and get away. So I, not really, wanting to kill. It was like I said, only about 130 pounds, and it was a little gilt. I didn't really want to kill it.
Yeah.
So I took it back to the butcher shop and threw it in the holding pen. And I actually ended up giving it to one of the kids that worked there. He took it home, and she was actually pregnant. He got a litter of piglets out of her. Very crazy.
So I'm gonna share this right here. I mean, can you explain this?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a coyote I caught in a snare. We call them cable restraints. It's not really a snare because it's not lethal.
Yeah. So what
But
does it do?
I had been coyote trapping. It's like a snare. It's a cable. You make a loop in their trail,
Yeah.
and what you want them to, preferably you get them to put one leg and their head through, so that it cinches up around the neck on one side and behind the shoulder on the other. But it's got a stopper so that it can't choke them to death. Like it can't kill your pet, and it can't cinch down on a deer leg.
Yeah.
And then it also has a, I can't remember the poundage, but after a certain amount of pull, the snare the cable restraint will pull apart. But other than that, it's a snare, but it only cinches down to like 4¼ inches.
Right.
But anyway, I had been trapping for like 3 months, and I didn't see like any coyotes come through. And this coyote, I had seen her when I was out deer hunting, and I knew that she just so happened to be the only coyote around here that year. So I decided to let her go, but I took her up to the house first to show a friend of mine that was over. City person who never seen that kind of thing.
And it didn't like
just
run
like
up.
a dog.
Yeah, I'm about to say it didn't run up on you or try and attack you.
No, it actually, I tried to get it to run away so we could film it. The coyote galloping away, and it wouldn't go nowhere.
Wow.
Finally, we all give up. And I went and got in the car, which the car is, behind the camera person.
Yeah.
About, I don't know, 100 feet or something. I went and got in the car and started. I'm like, well, I guess let's go. And she finally run off.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, they're neat.
Oh, Young Reddy asks, what's the strongest animal you ever trapped?
Strongest?
Yeah.
It'd have to be the beaver. I caught a 72-pound beaver once.
That's a big beaver. I never knew they got that big.
Yeah, I'm sure they get bigger. Yeah, they're strong, tough. They can tear some stuff up.
Yeah.
That's
he said the
beaver,
strangest.
Strangest.
Yeah, the strangest.
Okay, the strangest thing I ever trapped was a fish.
Like on
And
land?
I mean, I didn't mean to trap it. I was trying to catch a muskrat or a mink,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and I caught a fish, and I caught a wood duck once the same way. I caught it in one of my weasel traps.
That's
It
funny.
actually went down. It went down in the water underneath a limb to get past the limb and swam right in my trap.
Mm.
I've caught people's dogs. Man,
Oh
the
man.
last yeah. Um, yeah, some Amish moved. I forget where he moved from, but I don't know if he was hunting out back behind my house or what. But I go out there to check my coyote snares, and there's this red heeler staring at me, begging for mercy. I'm like, "What the hell are you doing out here?" So I let her go, and she just so happened to have a tag on her collar with the guy's name and number. Well, it was like out in Montana or something. So I had to call that number, and that guy called back to Michigan to some English who had a phone that could get a hold of this Amish, and he
Mm.
come and got his dog.
Yeah, that's
Luckily for
crazy.
him, luckily for him, and you know the funny part about it is, because of the fact that coyotes can get out of those cable restraints because of the limitations.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm out here on my land and I got permission to trap all this land around here. No one else does. There's no dogs around. No one has any dogs out here. Why can't I just use whatever I want and just,
Right.
kill these animals? Well, it wasn't a matter of like a week or something. I caught this dude's dog. I'm like, oh, maybe I better not put them lethal snares out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That's
kind of like
funny.
what are you doing out here, Bella?
Yeah, that's
You want to
funny.
go on camera? Here, we got somebody who wants to say hi.
All right. Yeah.
What you
Let's say
doing?
hi.
Where'd you go? Oh, I thought I turned my camera on, but I guess I didn't. It's my neighbor's pit bull. This is Bella.
I think you still ain't hit it.
Is it on? No, it ain't on. What the hell?
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. What you doing, kid? Pretty neat. It's got blue brindle.
Wow. Oh yeah, she look good.
Got that damn skin. Yeah.
Yeah, she look good for sure.
Yeah, I'm a buddy Jeff's dog.
Hmm. So I
A
kind
little
of
small for
want
my
to go
taste.
say that again.
She's a little small for my taste.
Uh, what's your size preference for pit bull?
Oh well, no, it's not that. It's just the pit bull's too small.
Oh yeah, you did
Is
say
what
that. I
was I
remember
was
you said
saying.
that.
Just dog
Yeah.
wise, yeah.
Right.
Oh no, she's a good sized bitch. Yeah, yeah, she's a good sized dog. Yeah, put together good too. She's got some hams on her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like the bigger dogs.
Right. Yeah, I'm the same
Like
way.
seriously, that dog couldn't do nothing to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
I can pick that dog up with one hand and swing it up against the pole or something. You know?
Yeah.
I want a dog that I want a dog somebody like me can't fight with. You know,
Yeah. Absolutely. Like I definitely agree. I like bigger dogs. I like catch weight dogs, but they're still not as they don't have the height. You know what I mean? Some of them, not all of them. Some of them are taller. But Coach actually has he has some blue pit bulls that I really really like. I think Shaka is one of them. They're watchdog blood actually. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that blood, but they're watchdog. blood,
No,
and
I mean I've heard of it, back
yeah,
in the day, but yeah.
but yeah, I really like his. They're tall. I'm not sure the exact measurements, but I think like 24, 25 inches, something like that, and like 80, 90, somewhere around there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I do. I like the
Yeah,
condition.
I had Colby dogs back in the day, and then when I got out of it, and then when I bought pit bulls again, I bought Razor's Edge out of Louisiana
Yeah.
down there on a pipeline.
Mm,
That's when
okay.
they were kind of new back then. Well, actually, they were still pit bulls back then.
Really, I was about to say
There was no
I was gonna ask
there
you
was no
if it
American
was
Bully yet.
because it kind of got absorbed by American bullies at that point. Well, once they came around.
Yeah,
So I kind of want to go back a little bit
yeah,
and
it was fun back then.
oh, go ahead. You broke up a little bit.
Yeah, well, we got a hell of a delay too, but yeah, it was funny back then when they were making that breed to see these like that short shot shit. See these English bulldog crosses with pit bull papers.
Yeah,
I mean, and it was just so obvious that you couldn't deny it.
yeah,
But they were
definitely.
registered dogs.
Well, yeah, I was saying I kind of want to go back a little bit. This is around kind of my last couple questions, but so you said you have Great Dane blood, and I think you have a Great Dane. So what is your Great Dane like? And give me
Yeah,
some
I have two of them.
characteristics and traits.
Well, mine is like a field dog, like a coonhound or a German short hair. That's
Yeah,
his physique.
I remember you said
Except
that.
except he's got yeah, his bones are more dense. Like his shin bones and stuff are nice and solid to take the speed, take all that leverage. Having them long bones. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
nice. And then he's got the yeah, if he had tighter lips, if he didn't have those massive jowls, he would be perfect for me.
right.
He's really strong, really muscular dog. I mean, he's extreme muscle like a greyhound. That's what he, yeah, reminds me of.
Yeah, yeah. You
And
did
he's
say
not
that.
that big either. He's actually more like the size of a greyhound,
Really?
which I don't know if anybody realizes how big a greyhound actually is. They're not little dogs.
Yeah, I
They're
haven't
waist
really seen a
high.
lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're waist high dog.
Wow.
They're pretty big,
Um. So
bigger
how
than
do
I
you feel?
thought when I seen them.
Yeah. So how do you feel? I mean, we on the live, you kind of was commenting some things about comments made about the Great Dane about how they some of them can't they can't take a hit or take some pressure from a
Sure.
man or beast. How do you feel about that? And what is your take on that?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I was watching some clips, some pet compilations, and there was a picture of a Merle Dane sitting on the couch with this kid. Yeah, I mean, this dog was just big, heavy, sloppy. You know what I mean? Like there's no function to this dog.
Yeah.
And I've seen all types of Danes. My dad used to breed Danes too, and he bred
Mm,
he mixed Danes and Mastiff to English Mastiff. But
yeah.
I've seen all types of Danes. So yeah, it's like any breed. And then it's no different than a pit bull.
Right.
How many pit bulls you're gonna go get off the street and put your money on doing anything?
Yeah.
Too many variables. Too many. Too many dogs. It's kind of crazy that some of your best dogs can be your like a breed like the Dane, where not a lot of people use them for their purpose. If you go to the poor people that haven't like bred towards the AKC standards, they actually have just random Great Dane blood that hasn't been steered in any direction.
Yeah.
Because they're getting every possibility, and then these other people that are getting them, they're breeding them. All the variances are still staying there. And all the like normal. My dog is more normal. He does like nowadays a Great Dane, since it's so big. Let's see how
Hmm.
big we can get them.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
that's where you destroyed the dog, is when you made it extreme, just like a pit bull. If you make your pit bull too muscular, he cannot perform.
No. No.
So, you know what I mean? A bigger Dane ain't better, and a more muscular pit ain't better, and a more caved in face is not better, and shorter legs is not better.
No.
You know, you can't take them things to extremes.
Yeah, you're going
But if you get
backwards.
dogs, right? Yeah, it's kind of funny that you get somebody that's not growing on that, and they just breed whatever Dane they got. So then you get like random breeding, which is exactly what keeps nature from inbreeding itself to death, is random breeding.
Right. And you
You can
educated
find
on
good
on
dogs
just.
to stay away from.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
Self-educated. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say stay away from dogs bred for show.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
What are you just gonna say? Genetics?
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say
No,
genetics.
no formal education.
Right.
Yeah, no formal education, just practical knowledge, and then researching what I was curious about,
Yeah.
kind of.
Right.
But
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. You'd have to ask somebody like Lee Robinson what level I'm on, actually. But I'm pretty well versed to some level, more than most people care to say, I guess.
Right. So so what are some good things a good Great Dane is capable of from your experience?
Running down and overpowering pretty much anything.
The original running catch dog.
If you listen to yep, yep, and I've heard it from the old houndsmen, and I'm talking about houndsmen from the 20s through the 60s and 70s that were conquering the West and shit. That the Great Dane was the only dog that could kill a jaguar. The only breed, you know what I mean, that
Yeah. I remember you
consistently
said
could
that.
hunt and kill jaguars was the Great
Yeah, I remember you said that.
Dane. Normally, like now, they have them little cur dogs. They take them out in packs of 10, or whatever, 30 of them, and you scare the jaguar up a tree, and they'll lose 6, 7 dogs that day on that hunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they got little like whippet type dogs almost.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call them. They're just a dog,
Um so now C.
But yeah, I
So
think
look
they're
you
very capable dog, and
yeah. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. My
and they
bad.
have
Go
good
ahead.
senses, good sense of smell.
I did hear that
Yeah,
from my homegirl. She said the same thing. That's where the Dogo Argentino got its great sense of smell from.
yeah,
Yep, I did hear that. Okay. Yeah, Niles C said, what's one
yeah.
thing you
That
don't like about him? I keep cutting you out, my bad, brother. Go ahead.
well, I don't know. I guess I can't say there's anything. I guess I don't know how to answer that. I mean, there's nothing I dislike about them, but I
Right.
mean, there's no such thing as a perfect dog. So if you could put more of a lean more towards the massive or the mastiff torso, you know what I mean? The rib
Yeah.
cage, the actual structure. Yeah, maybe you can add a little bit more of that, but which I have seen them too. Where I got
Right.
my Danes, that lady, she had one. Man, this thing was wicked. It was just huge, big, thick bone, big, wide chest. You know that, which made his head look skinny because he had a
Yeah.
normal size head. Well, yeah, just big, heavy dog. He was something. I'm actually going to breed to him, and he's something
Okay.
else.
Yeah. So I think this is my last question, brother, and I'm gonna let you go. I mean, we got about 2 hours in on this thing cooking. So
Yeah,
so you were talking about different breed groups are have different type or well are like it's different types. So can you kind of get into that because we talked about that last night?
um, the different types within the breed, or the different. You talking about like the mastiff group, the sight hound group,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
or
Yeah.
what? What do you?
Yeah. Yeah. You talking about Sighthound, Mastiff, Spitz,
Yeah,
Terrier, stuff like.
basically, right. Yeah, basically, you have those basic breed groups, like your foundation, blood, and all these 450 breeds, or the 150 or whatever AKC recognizes, are all variances of that group, or they're a mixture of one or more of those groups.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where a lot of people get mixed up on the crossbreeding. And well, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Well, the dogs are cousins already.
Right.
You know, but they're not realizing that these dogs are a lot closer to being related than they think.
Yeah.
You know, because it's the same breed type or same breed group. It's like the plants. You know, there's only so many places these plants came from.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's only only so many combinations.
Right. Well, shoot, brother. I think that's all I got for you today. We definitely have to get back on here. This was a great episode. I definitely enjoyed you
Yep, it was fun. Hope to do it again, and
for sure.
maybe
Anybody got
get some
any
other people on
questions?
here and get some interaction.
Yeah. Anybody got any questions for the brother Caveman or Jeremy, whichever you like to call him? Salute, young ready. Salute to
Yeah,
you,
I can't
brother.
see the chat. I'm afraid to touch any buttons.
Yeah, I think on the phone it doesn't allow you to unless you have to click I think you have to click comments on there, but like you said, you
Well,
might
I
press
see
the
an icon for chat, but I've
yeah,
done stuff
click
like
that and
that
see.
before. Push the button and then
Oh, and then you
see if
got
it
kicked
signs
out.
me out.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess I'm still comments.
I'm gonna go through
Let's
and make sure there weren't no
see.
extra questions.
Last comment
Mm.
in the chat.
Nell Mac did have a question. He said, "What kind of drive does sled dogs pull from? They never stop in knee deep snow."
Sled dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget. They use the husky, of course. A lot of them have wolf in them, and here we go again with one of my all-time favorite breeds, the German Short-haired Pointer,
Yeah, I like those
the
dogs.
ultimate endurance dog. Yeah, think about it. They're bred to run, 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 run all day, back and
Really?
forth, cover the whole field. Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. And see, me and
If you
Reddy was
want
trying
one
to
that,
figure.
if you want,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
okay, if you want one that's really bred to run, get one that's bred to hunt with a horse. There's two different
Yeah.
types of field trial German Short-haired Pointers. There's a gun dog and there's a field trial dog. They're totally different.
Okay.
But those field trial dogs, no, those things cover ground.
Mm,
But just a German short-haired pointer, they got thick skin. They're made to go through the briars. They got tough feet. They got the speed, the athleticism. They ain't carrying no extra weight. They got the endurance, and that's where one of the places the Doberman got its defense drive from. Those German short-haired pointers will eat your ass up.
wow.
Yeah,
See, I my
and just like
my
them,
uncle. Oh, go ahead. Go
yeah, just
ahead.
like them hounds, them dogs that have been bred to work and to take that abuse like that, can't discredit them.
Yeah.
You've been around them, yeah.
Yeah. I my uncle's wife. Uh, when they were younger, I went over to her house a few times. She had two of them, and they I seen the protective instinct that you're talking about. I think one of them did kind of like me, but the female she did. So she would kind of like step over me and kind of protect me a little bit from the male.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see
See,
that
in most dogs, it's the female that's the best for
protector.
defense drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yep, I definitely see. I was gonna ask you
It's the
that, but
same with coyote.
I can see it.
Yeah. They're defending their territory. They raise their babies.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, me and Reddy was trying to figure out why the Japanese used the German short-haired pointer in the Tosa Inu. But
Yeah.
now that you say
All
that,
them
that makes
reasons.
sense.
Yep. Endurance, agility, drive, thick skin, all that, and to lean up that heaviness from the mastiffs and the pit, because they put that pit bull in there and that kind of compacted, and then you get that mastiff, and your Akita's kind of compact too.
Yeah.
All them dogs are compact.
Right.
Well, if you want a dog that can turn and spin and do all that shit, you need, them cat-like reflexes too, and them tight feet. Yeah,
And
that German
that's what the
Short-haired
Tosa
Pointer. Yeah,
that's what the
German
Tosa's
Short-haired
said for.
badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Tosas, the good ones anyway.
Yeah, I do too. A lot of them look like Borbles or like a Borble mix. They kind of got that Borble facing head. Some of them that I see.
Yeah, I think a good one looks like you got like a pit bull body but bigger, and the
Yeah.
boar head, and with a snout that almost resembles a Great Dane. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think those are the best ones. Then you get those ones that have the big floppy Fila looking head and dewlap, and
Hmm.
I mean they might even perform better. I don't know, but I just don't like them.
Yeah, I like the feel. I mean, but yeah, I see what you're saying. I kind of compare their structure, not 100%, but kind of to the Neapolitan Mastiff. Just with the sloppiness
Yeah,
and I don't like their
yeah,
headpiece. It is trash. It's kind of like a bloodhound. You can see that bloodhound headpiece.
sure, yeah.
Oh, you have one of those, don't
But I
you?
mean, I did. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. He was hard. He was the only dog I ever seen go up against that Great Pyrenees that didn't get smoked in the heartbeat.
mm,
Um, I was pulling in the driveway and watched it start, like watched the bloodhound break loose and go over there to the Pyrenees.
yeah.
And I was so sick of it that I didn't run over there. I went and I put my pop down and I walked over there casual. And by the time I got over there, I thought, damn, I think this bloodhound might be wearing him out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that bloodhounds were feared. Like, I mean, of course, back in history, what they were used for. But yeah, I
Yeah.
heard they were
You're a
feared. They were some
guardian.
real, yeah, some bad dogs.
Yeah, they still are, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, but like from my
I
knowledge, it's not talked about a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you look, that's another thing. You look at that trait that those dogs have, the Neo, the Italian Mastiff, the Fila, the Bloodhound. They all have
Mm.
that narrow head, long, floppy skin, long jowls, dewlap, wrinkles. Those dogs all have the same temperament.
Yeah. Okay.
So some of that stuff you can really tell just by looking at a dog for the most part, unless it's got
Right.
a issue, got a nerve issue or something. But you can pretty much tell by looking at them. You can tell what dog's fast or what dog's strong or you know
Yeah.
whatever. That's what that's where confirmation started.
Right.
But it used to be that the top performer set the standard.
Mm.
But then it was just how extreme and distinct can we make this standard in this breed?
Yeah. Instead of pushing the standard to be better or just put it to a higher standard to be
Yeah.
great. Yeah. But yeah, man, I think that's it for me. I think so. Yeah, I think we're gonna
All
call
right.
it one. Yeah, we got 2 hours in, man. I appreciate you for coming on for sure. This was a great episode.
Yep. Yep. No place I'd rather be.
I know that's right. But yeah, all right, man. I'll let you go. Salute to
Yep.
the
Yep.
chat. I appreciate everybody coming out. Hope y'all have a y'all finish this
Yep.
week out strong, man. All right.